Hello, STEM Sharks. We're going to work together to create a reference page, also known as a bibliography or works cited page. All of those terms are interchangeable. And so we're going to work together to create a bibliography page that will list all of your sources that you've used in your research and that you will be citing in your written product. So the first thing that I want to do is pull up a Google document that I'm going to list all of those sources in. And then the next step is I want to list in these tabs up here, I want all of the sources that I would like to create a citation for to be open and ready to go. Then what I'll do is select from this menu here up at the top, I'm going to go to the Tools menu, and I am going to slide down that list until I see Citations. And when I click on that, that is going to pull up a Citation Sidebar to the right of this document. You'll see that I've already gotten started here. Yours will be blank when you start from scratch. And I want to select from this menu, and every time I add a citation, I want to make sure that it is correctly selected that I want APA format. And the APA format is what usually gets used in science and social studies classes. So we want to make sure we're using the correct formatting. Then I will select Add Citation Source right here. Now, for most of the work that we end up using, we do lots of things digital in STEM. And so you're going to select your source type. Most often, it will be a website. You absolutely could cite from a textbook that you've used in class, or maybe you've borrowed one of Mrs. Smale's National Geographic copies, or you're using some other sort of nonfiction paper-based source. Sometimes, as you get up into high school age as well, you might be using journal articles from a big database that you'll have access to, or maybe even a newspaper article. But again, most often, you are going to just select website. And obviously, you'll make sure you accessed it online by a website. The next thing that I want to do here is figure out the contributors, who has created the source that I'm using, basically, is what you're looking for. There are times where you won't find an author's name provided, and that's when you want to start thinking about this corporation or organization, and try to give some credit to who actually wrote the source, right? So if I select my first article here, or my first website, I'll see that the name of this whole website is Live Science. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, I'm going to see that there is an author listed here. His name is Tim Sharp. So I would go back to my bibliography page, and I'm going to go ahead and enter Tim Sharp in the last name spot. If I could not find a source, like let's say I go somewhere here, and this is another source that I used in my research, and I don't see up at the title of this, I see the title of the whole website up at the top in the left. I see the title of this web page, but I don't see any author listed here. Even when I scroll all the way down, sometimes a good place to double check is towards the end of the web page. And what I do see is there's a sitemap here, so I might want to check that out. There's a chemforkids.com. I see a copyright down here. That'll come in handy later. I also see this Andrew Rader Studios. And so I don't know if Andrew Rader is the person who actually wrote this particular page. It might be some other people that he has working for him, or with him. So I do want to take the Andrew Rader Studios, however, and give them credit as the corporation or organization. So again, if they list the author's name, please use that, right? But if you don't have the author's name on your source, then do a little bit of digging and see if you can come up with someone else to give credit to. And again, sometimes that's going to be down way at the bottom of the page. Sometimes you can also find, if I go to this source here, there isn't an author, but I can try to go down here and try to find like a privacy policy, sometimes about us, or contact us. Those are sometimes good pages to look. So for the author's information, or at least to give credit to somebody. So when I clicked there, I was able to see I still can't get an author's name for this page. But I can see that it's a credible source. I mean, they're still giving information about who and how to contact the people that wrote this. So that helps to at least make sure that it's a credible source. But again, the second source in the tab here, I still don't have an author's name, right? So how I'm going to handle that in the example is I'm going to go ahead and click that corporation or organization name. And so the example I'm citing right now, I know I'm skipping around a bit in the tabs, but this one I'm going to work on. This is the Chem for Kids. And I'm going to go ahead and go down. I'm going to give credit to Andrew Rader Studios. So again, I don't know for sure that he was the one who wrote it, but I'm going to go ahead and give him credit here. Sometimes you'll have multiple contributors. So if there are multiple authors, that's where I would select and add another contributor. There isn't for this one, so we're going to keep going. The title of this page is Bonding Basics, but there's also the title of this whole website is raderschemforkids.com. And so I'm going to, if it lets me, I might have to type it. Yeah, it's not going to let me. All right. So some of the things you might have to type yourself instead of copying and pasting. So the title is Bonding Basics. Notice I am paying attention to capital letters. When it's capitalized in the title, the bonding and the basics, I want to make sure that that looks exactly the same in my title. And then again, the website title is Raiders and the number 4 kids.com. And I can double check that I've got the right title right up here. That whole website is named Chem for Kids, and I see the Raiders up at the top, so I included that. The next thing I need is a URL and a publishing day, month, and year. So I'm going to see if I can find those when I go back. So first I'm going to copy and paste that URL at the top, and I'm going to see if there's a date that this is published. The copyright here says that it's between 1997 to 2018. So I'm guessing this is probably a teacher, right? Or a professor maybe, I'm not sure. And they've been in business for a while, evidently, right? And the last time this was updated was that 2018. So I'm going to go ahead and include that date. There are no other dates listed as far as when that specific bonding page, the Bonding Basics, was created. So I'll paste the URL in here. There is no date, there is no day, there is no month, there is just the 2018. The next part that I have to worry about is what day did I access this information? And I'm going to put the date, I will put the month, and the year. And so this is listed there because it's a way to document when that site was last active, right? So sometimes we click on links and are redirected, or we're told that the URL is broken. So you want to make sure for your readers, whoever reads your research is going to know that that was the last date, at least, that you knew that that website was working. This short title here is more for as you get older and do more research and have more sources, and you're looking at titles that might be really, really long. So you can skip over. In middle school, you can skip over the short title, but don't be surprised when they bring that in when you get to high school. So I'm done at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and click the Add Citation Source. And you'll see it just popped up right here, right? The Bonding Basics. So I've already done a couple of these sources for you ahead of time. And so this one I completed. It listed a lot of the information. It has the date right here. I used the Live Science is the name of this whole website. And so I was able to get a lot of great information for my citation off of this page. This was another example where I did not have an author provided. It was a great source to use, and I tried to dig around into some of these other pages to find an author or a more specific date than just the year right here. But sometimes that's all you've got, and you just have to leave the box blank. All right, so we just completed this source in our last one. Sometimes we use videos, right, as sources. So let me take a minute to show you how that works. When I take a look at this video, there's a couple of key pieces. I want to see that I've got the name of the author, if it's provided, or a lot of times in YouTube videos, they will have a channel. And so I can click on that channel right there. It'll take me to that. Here, let's pause it. It'll take me to their channel, right? Sometimes there'll be some information here about the authors. I can click that about menu option and see if it tells me. Sometimes you'll get the name of whoever created that source that you're using here. This one does not. It says we, so I'm guessing there's a bunch of people, a team of people. They don't provide a name other than the name of the company, right, or the channel at least, who is creating this information. So I just have to go with what I got. We'll go back to our video so that we can cite it correctly. All right, so the title here is What is an Atom and How Do We Know? I do have also a nice date that was created. I have the month, the day, and the year, so that's handy. So when I went to my source here, I've already done this one too. So there is the stated clearly. You'll see over here on the right-hand side, there's the name of the YouTube channel. I have my date right after that. The title, it's from YouTube. And so when I created it, here I'll show you, you can go in and edit these as well. So when I created this one, I filled in, there wasn't an author, so I just clicked that corporation or organization for the name of that YouTube channel. I have a title here. The website title, though, is YouTube, right? That's where I got it. There is the URL and the date and month and year it was published and the day, month, and year that I accessed it, right? So I did not make any changes there, and I can just head right back, right? Okay, so sometimes you are going to use a TED Talk too, like a speech. So how do you cite a speech? Again, if you find it on YouTube, which is most often where we tend to find these things, you can go ahead and just include TED Ed here. Again, you'll see a date for when the speech was created, when it was presented to an audience, and you'll have all kinds of things like the title. Sometimes you can click on the show more information as well and get some information here, right? So I can give credit to the George Zayden and Charles Morton for creating this video. There are times also where you will find it listed just straight on TED.com. And so I wanted to show you how to do that. Here, Charles Morton is listed as that as the author, but I also see up here that there are other people involved, like George Zayden narrating. I see the date is kind of published or put on the webpage right here. So either way, I want to create a citation for this source. So I'm going to go back to the video here where it clearly says the names there. And I will add a citation. It is a web page. Oops. I have the first name is George, and no middle initial is listed. And I want to know how to spell his name, so I've got Zayden and then Charles Morton. And I'm going to add another author then here. There's Charles Morton. I will slide down. I'm going to take the title of that, which is How Atoms Bond. So be careful when you're selecting the title. They were trying to give credit to these two authors here, but the title of it is actually just How Atoms Bond. And then the website title for this one, it is YouTube. I'll grab the URL and the date that it was published, October 15th of 2013. So you see that it doesn't really take too much time, as long as you type accurately. All right, and I can go ahead and click Add that citation. And there you go, it's all ready. A few things that I wanted to show you as well is when we use our discovery education source, there will be times where you will have to create the citation from scratch yourself. There are other times, like so for this page, it's not listed anywhere on here. So I can scroll all the way down to the bottom, right? And what I'm trying to show you is that here, if you have a reading passage that's been assigned to you, then Discovery Education, because they want to make life easier for you, right? If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see this citations here. So all I need to do is copy and paste this just straight into my reference page. So it's very handy. You'll see that it also shows up in the videos. So if I scroll down right here, all I need to do is click and toggle down and highlight this. And I'm going to copy and paste that right into the Google Doc reference page. I don't even have to do the citations window on the side, that sidebar, because I can just paste it. It's already done, right? Same thing here, right? The exploration pages, those also have the APA citation right here. So I'm just going to copy that, and then I will paste it. I'll show you right in here. I already did them. And so those are the citations that I pasted right in from Discovery Ed. If you are using one of the textbook pages, then here's what this looks like, right? So first of all, I want to copy the title of this particular page. And I know it's from the Discovery Education Science Textbook. So I'm going to go back over here to create a citation. It is, we're going to say it's from a website so that the formatting is correct. We're going to select the corporation or organization, and it is Discovery Education Incorporated. I'll show you where I got that information from. Right here, if I scroll all the way down, the company that is creating this is Discovery Education, right? And you'll see the publishing date is 2021. They update it continually. It's always up to date because luckily it's digital, and that's a easier thing to do than when it's printed, right? So I'm going to put in the Discovery Education because that's the organization's name, the corporation's name. And yes, it's important to have that incorporated, or sometimes you'll see LLC. But here's the title of the actual page that I'm using. The website title then is Discovery Education. It's the Science Textbook. Make sure you do not write textbook, even though that's the way it's supposed to be spelled, right? They're getting real clever here with the textbook. All right, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to copy that URL that I need. The publishing day and month is not available to us, but we do know that it's been updated on 2021. I have the date that I am accessing this. And I don't need to do that short title. I can just click the add citation. All right, so this is my citation list. You'll notice it's been building over time, and they also create it alphabetically. So it's pretty handy to do the bibliography page through Google Docs and using this app on the side because it automatically alphabetizes everything for me. So once I'm done and I've put all of my sources in here, then I just click the Insert Bibliography. I want to make sure that my cursor is where I want that to paste though, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click Insert Bibliography, and it will take care of that for me. Again, I want to stress to you, we've been calling these pages the references and a reference page. Sometimes you'll hear it called Works Cited list. Those are all interchangeable terms, just kind of depends on the preference, I think, of the teacher or whomever you're publishing for. This is going to be pasting in that bold font. And it's just defaulting. It's just an app, guys, because this was in bold. So what you want to do to have it correctly formatted is go ahead and select your whole list here. We do not want it to be bolded, so I want to take off the bold font. And I do want to keep it double spaced. I want to keep that hanging indent that you're seeing right there. The hanging indent where the first line is extended all the way to the left. Every line after that is tabbed in. But I've got one more thing that I need to fix here. So these need to be alphabetical. And so I need to make sure that I take this, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it alphabetically in here. And I'm going to see, I think this is the right one because I want it to be, nope, not quite. See, here's how I'm alphabetizing. The Discovery Education, and this is Incorporated, and LLC was one of the other ones. So those are all slightly different. But because alphabetically, the nothing comes before something up here. So instead, I don't want to paste it there. I want to come to this line, which is the first alphabetically. I'm going to paste it in there. And then I need to correct for that hanging indent, which means I need to hit enter on my keyboard I need to tab in one, and in order to get rid of that space, I have to come up and delete it, right? Sometimes you might have to enter on your keyboard to be able to get the lines to break here. You'll see the font is off. So I have Arial at 11-point font, and it's full text color of black here. This one appears to be a bit gray, right? It's not the right color. So I'm going to go ahead and change the font to be Arial and 11. And I'm going to change it so that that part is also black, so that it all looks the same, right? So just the sort of nitpicky things that you need to do. And then you will remember, I will come back and get that e-chalk set up. But to save your time in this video, please make sure that you are also then referencing from this first part when you bring your work, when you use your citations in your writing. Go ahead and use this guide that we've gone over together already about citing your sources in your writing. And so that first part is where you want to take, there's a title, right, and the year. So here's how to cite it correctly in your work. You can reference just the year as well, right? So go ahead and use that guide to help you. The point is that you're using this beginning information here in your writing to reference which of your sources on this bibliography list you are trying to cite for your readers. All right, as always, make sure you ask for help when you have questions so that we can support you in every way. All right, good work.